This is Rowan Newcomb from Rowan Newcomb Music, and I wanted to share with you a little bit about my song, Something About You, and what Logic Pro X has to offer singers and musicians. So, one of the first things I wanted to show you is what you can do with vocals. So, what's really cool is there's a program called FlexPitch. And what you can do is select different notes, and you can actually correct it 100% to where it should be. So in this case, this note was pretty close, but there's other notes that might be a little bit off. So you'll want to correct it so that way your song sounds smooth and polished. You can also do things like vibrato, which changes how much vibrato is on your vocal. And that's useful because you might want to get a more natural sound, or sometimes you want a sound that's a little bit more smooth and right on pitch and not wavery, but sometimes that wavery sound is really nice, you know? You can do that, and you can also control the fine pitch if you really want it to be true to how you actually sound. And the key is getting that natural sound that you want. Another thing that Logic Pro has to offer is Midi. So I'm going to go down to this synth lead, which is essentially like an electric guitar, but I just used a keyboard plugin. And what you can do is your Midi will plug in and it'll put these notes on the screen. And I think that's really useful because then you can edit the notes. For example, I can move these up an entire octave if I'd like, all the way up to F sharp in the third octave, but I'll actually keep it down for the purposes of this song on the second octave, you know? And you can also change the velocity of the notes, which is really useful, and it even changes color for you. So I think that's a really useful tool if you want to get a louder or softer sound, and sometimes you just want the timbre or just the overall feel of the song to sound different. So yeah, I think definitely using that tool is really useful too. And one of the things I like to use for basic songwriting is get these loops that Apple has. And there's over 4,000 of these, and it's great for just starting out your song. So for example, I'll play this. This is an alternative pop acoustic guitar. And you can drag this down, and it'll play in the song wherever you'd like. Another cool thing you can do is, like on the vocals, you can change EQ, you can change the compressor, and you can change the echo. And for echo, it's really cool. You can basically that's how much your vocal echoes, and you can change the color. You can change what type of echo. Is it under a triplet? Is it under a 16th note? You know, is it an 8th note? And so on. You can change how much reverb is on the vocal, and that has to do with the vocal wetness or dryness, and reverb gives it like a more full sound. This right here, chromaverb, is another way of getting the reverb that you like. And lastly, I want to show you about mastering. So mastering just gives that studio-ready sound that your song really needs, you know? And so for this one, the low end is really high, and the mid-level is lowered, and the high end is relatively in the middle. And this is good because you really want to master, because you don't want a song to sound like it was made in your bedroom or in your garage. But if it was made in those areas, you want it to sound very professional. And in my case, it actually was made in my bedroom. Nevertheless, I really hope you guys enjoyed this. I want to actually share a little bit about the song. So I'm just going to play the song and we'll close this video out. I really hope you enjoyed this video.